Hey guys, David here. Welcome to Digital Outlook, where you're gonna find the best community in all of crypto. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how XRP could change your life forever. So guys, without further ado, why don't we get to it? So guys, as you can tell, it is a bit miserable out here today and it's a bit windy too. So hopefully we'll be able to keep the audio sounding great throughout the video. But I wanted to get out here and actually enjoy nature with you again and do these walks. I just love them myself, and it just helps me to think a little bit clearer when I get out here and do these talks and walks. So hope you enjoy it too. Anyhow, when Judy and I first started out in this space, we almost by accident fell into probably one of the best times you could ever step into this digital asset space. It was right in March of 2020, April 2020. And of course, it was during that big sea dump time. And I've told this before, but basically Judy and I were looking for a way to secure our investment, our purchasing power, because we knew that we were looking at this big emergency relief benefit during the whole sea dump deal. And there are 12 million people in Canada were going to make themselves available for this. And on top of that, we thought, holy moly, we're going to lose our purchasing power, with our savings. So I had gone out and looked to see if we could get some bullion living in Vancouver, BC. And there was really none to be had. In fact, I found one dealer. He had 17 ounces of silver, which at that time, I think silver was trading for like $12, so it wasn't very much. My point in saying all that is that it felt just like it feels now. I mean, people were panicking on steroids. They were scared it was going to drop even more and on, and the narrative was so bad. But at that time, we didn't know any better, and we just decided, hey, look, based on what we can see is coming down the road in the utility, we're just going to buy in. Well, guys, it changed our lives. It really did. We saw such tremendous gains. We went from just having a small amount to an amount that we just never even thought we would see, probably in our lifetime at that time. And we just were blessed, like unbelievably. And I look back now and I see everything that we got involved with, every one of them, most all of them did either 100 or a 50x return. The worst one that I had did a 100% return. Now that was my worst, a 100%. And the span of time, guys, it was like literally 1 year, probably about 1 year later. And we were able to retire from our jobs, by the way, that I had for 25 years and was planning on working till I had at least 30 years of service in, was able to retire at 25 years of service and literally changed our lives in a dramatic way. Well, it feels just like that right now. People are scared, they're panicked, they're uncertain. There's a lot of narratives being bounced all over the place, and it just has that sense in me. And I can't tell you what it's produced. In fact, it's just made me so much more excited about this space because I remember what it felt like the first time. And you kind of have to imagine what it is. If, let's say you've gone to Disneyland, your first time on Space Mountain, you've got that little fear and trepidation, Then you go through the ride and you think, wow, that was something. Let's do that one again. And that's kind of how I feel. There's this genuine excitement burgeoning in me about what I see happening. And I genuinely believe that we are going to see one of the biggest bull runs that we have ever seen coming forward in these next years, 2023 and 2024. Now, having said that, I want you guys to think about something. Back there, when we were going through that whole sea dump deal, who in their right mind would have believed that we would see such a major bull run like we saw, considering the fact that the majority of the world was completely shut down and not operating? It just seems like it didn't make sense. Well, guys, I'm telling you something, it doesn't have to make sense. And that is the crazy thing about it. These markets can do what they want to do when you least expect them to do it. Nobody was expecting a major bull run back there when the majority of the world, all the shops were closed, the manufacturing was closed, the shipping was closed, the trucking was down. Everything was literally coming to a screeching halt. And yet we had one of the biggest bull runs in history up until that time. And I feel that same way today. And when I think about an asset like XRP, because the ones that we got into, by the way, I did get rug pulled on a few where I lost some few $1,000s, and I learned my lessons, that's for sure. And that's where I developed my 4 principles, where it had to be a real world utility, had to have a real management team, not Satoshi Nakamoto wannabes where they're all anonymous, strategic partnerships, and then of course price action. Well, when you look at this space and you take a look at all of these ISO tokens, so Hedera Hashgraph, Algorand, XLM, XRP, has their utility diminished in any way? Absolutely not. I mean, you look at Hedera Hashgraph and who's involved in that as the founding organization, the owners and the operators. It is truly amazing. Then take a look at XRP and you look at Ripple and you see the utilization of XRP, and not just by Ripple, by a multiplicity of other organizations that utilize it. I mean, you had 15 different amicus briefs filed in support of Ripple because they use XRP in their businesses. But on top of that, you just take a look at what's going on and the infrastructure of all these central bank digital currencies and the on-demand liquidity being utilized out there. And you just start to think of how widespread XRP is going to be used as a bridge asset between all these CBDCs. It is truly going to be monumental. That is my belief. Now, I have not seen another organization like we have with Ripple going forward. And by the way, I get a question that comes out a lot. It says, oh, well, what do you think will happen if the SEC wins and Ripple loses? You know what I think, guys? I think what you're going to see is Ripple will move out of the US, but XRP is still going to be continuing. And look, we're going to see price action even without it. Just think of this. In December of 2020, we had this case dropped on Ripple and the price of XRP went down to like 17 cents. But just 5 months later, in about April or May, I think it was around April or May of 2021, XRP was trading at $1.97. Guys, that says volumes. Don't think that just because the SEC could win this case, that somehow that is going to kill XRP altogether. It is not. But beyond that, I think that Ripple is going to win this case and that XRP is going to be designated as a non-security. That's what it's going to happen. Guys, I want you to think about something else. We are truly witnessing the transition of this old economic system into a brand new digital system. Just think of this. Larry Fink from BlackRock, and by the way, BlackRock holds 8 trillion of assets under management. And Larry Fink, the CEO, comes out and says, hey, the next evolution for the markets is the tokenization of securities. That is a massive, massive deal. You're talking about the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, all the world markets out there, the commodities markets, all of that being tokenized. And the DMCC out of Dubai just recently also came out and said, hey, we're tokenizing gold. So this is not some make-believe hopium that's coming down the pike. This is really going on. And when you consider a corporation like Ripple that is out there and partnered with the IMF, partnered with the WF, partnered with the BIS, partnered with these major banks around the world, working on the US dollar project, the digital pound, and on and on and on, and building the literal infrastructure of a new financial system. You're telling me that we're not going to see any kind of appreciation? I think it's going to be so mesmerizing that most folks aren't even going to be genuinely able to comprehend it. It'll kind of be like seeing the story of 13 years ago, someone out there bought 5,000 Bitcoin with $5. 13 years later, that $5 investment, if it had held it that whole time, would have been worth over $360 million. It is almost mind-boggling. It's hard to even grasp that. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a total revolution of how the world works, not just in our monetary system, Think of this. But in our data and how it's processed, in our social media when it comes to the Metaburst, in our medical and our digital IDs and how we identify ourselves instead of carrying around driver's license, passports, and medical, insurance cards, and on and on and on, that it'll all be encapsulated in one digital ID. It is truly mesmerizing. Here we are on the forefront of this total massive change, and folks are out there debating whether or not we're going to see some sort of financial change and whether or not these assets are going to appreciate. I'm telling you, it truly is mind-blowing. It's kind of like if you could go back in time, and I'll show a little clip here of when they were talking about, what email was back in the day. And
back now at 56 past, I wasn't prepared to translate that as I was doing that little tease.
Oh, that's
that little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard something big fight up in the lunchroom the other week.
There it is. Violence at NBC. GE.com. I mean,
well, Allison should know.
What is internet anyway?
Internet is that
massive computer network.
The one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean that's big? How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
No, she can't say anything in 10 seconds or less.
Oh, Allison will be in the studio shortly.
What does it mean?
It's a giant computer network made up of started from.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us what this was.
It's like a computer billboard.
It's not in it. It's a computer billboard, but it's nationwide, and it's several universities and everything all joined together.
And others can access it.
And it's getting bigger and bigger all the time.
It came in really handy during the quake. A lot of people, that's how they were communicating out to tell family and loved ones they were okay because all the phone lines were down.
I was telling Katie, and I've been
talking. You don't need that. You don't need a phone line to operate internet.
No.
Just think to yourself, if you could have invested in, the infrastructure, the protocol of how email work, like SMTP and on, what you're going to see is these protocols are going to be the protocols that move the financial markets, whereas those move the information markets, and it's going to be phenomenal. And back then, by the way, we could not invest in the protocol, whereas now we can. And I'm saying, from my perspective and my belief, you get involved in an asset like XRP, I'm telling you what, it has the power to change your financial future in ways that we can't even imagine. I genuinely believe that. That is my personal opinion. It's not financial advice. It's what I believe by what I've researched and become absolutely convinced of. You don't have to talk me into it. And hey, by the way, I wouldn't take my advice for it either, because if I can talk you into it, someone else can talk you out of it. I'm sharing with you information that I have seen, what I witnessed coming before me, what I've personally experienced myself, because Judy and I, that last bull run changed our entire lives, and I know that it's going to happen again. And don't think it can't happen to you. It can happen to you. I invested in some assets back there, Cardano, VeChain, and the like. And XRP, by the way, but I didn't sell any XRP. And I watched things go from 3 cents, 4 cents, all the way to $3.10. Absolutely monumental. You're talking about a 10,000% return, a 100x. That does not happen that often in life, but I believe, guys, it's because of the nascency of this space and the opportunity that it presents. Yes, there is volatility. Absolutely, zero doubt it is volatile, but it's that same volatility that actually gives us these massive gains. And when we're way up here, yes, you're going to experience some massive drops. That's why you need an exit strategy. You've got to plan this out with strategic precision, because it goes up, tink, 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 and then boom, it drops. That's how I experienced it. So I'm getting ready and I'm getting prepared, and I don't want you to miss it. I want you to be prepared too. So guys, we had to come into the house to finish the video because you didn't see it, but there was a fine mist of rain that was coming down and the video quality was just getting worse and worse and worse. So we came inside just to finish it all off. And listen, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And if you want to add to the conversation, just drop your comments right down there in the comments section, open it up to the community and start a discussion. So guys, before you go, I just want to remind the community of the Discord server that we recently started. It is growing like crazy, and it is an absolutely amazing place to get out there, share your thoughts, ideas, opinions, suggestions, and all that with like-minded individuals, and it is absolutely free. And the link to that, by the way, is right down there in the description of this video. Now, something else that comes up a lot is folks will ask me, David, where can I go out and buy some XRP? Well, guys, I don't use an exchange. I use these guys right here. This is Caleb and Brown, and Caleb and Brown is a digital asset brokerage. Now, the amazing thing about a digital asset brokerage is you can literally get on the phone, talk one-on-one with your broker, and get whatever issue you have going on completely resolved. Now, just imagine you're dealing with Coinbase, Kraken, or Uphold. There's not even a phone number where you can reach those guys, and you send off your support ticket, and who knows how long it is until your issue gets resolved. Well, with Caleb and Brown, you're going to pick up the phone, you're going to talk to your broker, and he's going to solve it like right quick. Now, the amazing thing is this: there's no deposit fees. There's no withdrawal fees. There's no custody fees to hold it. The only fee that you pay is your trading fee, and they have given us a direct link right down there in the description. If you click that and register there, you're going to pay only 3.5% on your fees. And I'll tell you something, guys, the peace of mind that it brings me knowing that if I have an issue, I can literally get on the phone and talk with somebody who can resolve it is well worth that 3.5%. Now, last but not least, I've had a lot of folks reach out to me and say, hey, David, do you have any more spots with your coaching, and asking if I can extend it to the end of December? Well, guys, I've decided that I will extend it to the end of December. And if it's something that interests you, it's for $250 for that 1 hour where we can talk one-on-one about your exit strategy, your portfolio, any questions or concerns that you might have. And I can even help you with respect to how to get your assets off some of these exchanges if that's what you need. Well, you just write me right there at thedigitaloutlook.com, and I will get back to you and share with you all the things about how to get it all set up and work that out. Well, guys, as you know, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, but if you found value in it, if you'd hit that like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And hey, don't forget to hit that notification bell down there so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that we're uploading. And if you're one of the thousands of people who have been watching these videos, but you haven't yet subscribed, would you do the channel a favor and join this community? We would really love to have you on board. So, in the meantime, and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and I'll catch you in the next one.